the first thing that we see meditating in this portion of the Bible, it says on verse 18 that there was a crowd of people around Jesus. Many people had gotten there because they wanted to follow Jesus. Many probably were saying, I believe in Jesus. I want to walk alongside with Jesus. I want to live my life following Jesus. I believe in Jesus. But from all of this crowd that said that they were there for Jesus, as we keep on reading, we see that not all of them really followed Jesus. It says, when Jesus saw the crowd around him, he gave orders to cross to the other side of the lake. Then a teacher of the law came to him and said, Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go. Now, verse 20, Jesus replied, Foxes have dens and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. Another disciple said to him, Lord, first let me go and bury my father. But Jesus told him, Follow me and let the dead bury their own dead. We're going to stop here for a moment and meditate about what the word is saying. First of all, we see a crowd of people that are there for Jesus, let's say. Many could be saying, I'm here for Jesus. I want to follow Jesus. I believe in Jesus. I believe in God. So I'm here because of God. Many people can mention God. Many people can say they are serving God. Many people can say that they have given their lives to God, that they are disciples of Jesus Christ. Many people can say it. But in this verse 18 of chapter 8 of Matthew, it says that Jesus gives an order and says, let's cross to the other side. Let's go to the other side. Come with me to the other side. And don't stay just there with all of that crowd just saying that they were there for Jesus. Now, when the teacher of the law comes to him, he says, I will follow you wherever you go. Jesus replied, Foxes have dens and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. What is he saying? What is Jesus saying to that man so that he can understand? He's saying, if you want to follow me, if you really want to walk alongside with me, you will have to know that in this path, it will not always be easy. It will not always be comfortable. It will not always be as you probably are thinking that it will be. Because his answer to that man is, foxes have dens and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. He's telling him, there are times when it feels hard to follow me. There are times when you might feel like you want to cry. There are times where you might feel that you don't know what else to do, and you feel that it is difficult, and you feel that it is hard, and you feel that it's not comfortable to follow Jesus. And this man was probably most likely one of the men that said, okay, so if it's not always easy, and if sometimes it is hard, and I will have to go through many things where I will feel that I'm not even able to rest because I'm following Jesus, then this man probably said, I will not follow Jesus then. I will not cross to the other side with him. Then it says, another disciple said to him, Lord, first let me go and bury my father. But Jesus told him, follow me and let the dead bury their own dead. What this man is telling Jesus, he says, first, I will go do something else. First, this other thing in my life will take my time and is more important. And after I do that, then I will follow you. That's what he was saying, in other words, to Jesus. And nowadays, Jesus is telling many people, follow me. Jesus is telling many people, okay, you have come up to this. You are in the middle of a big crowd that are saying that are here for me. You're in the middle of a big crowd that are saying that are willing to serve me, that are willing to follow me, that are willing to give their lives to me and walk alongside with me in this path of the gospel. But now it's time to cross to the other side. Now it's time to cross and see if you are really one of my disciples, if you are really one of my followers, if you are really one of those that are willing to go through anything and put me, can say Jesus, put him, Jesus, first. That's what Jesus was telling him. First, follow me. Because in the verse 21, this other disciple said to him, Lord, first let me go and bury my father. First, I will do this. First, I have to do that. First, I have to do these other things. And Jesus is saying, follow me now. Jesus is saying, first, I must be in your life as the most important person. I must be number one in your life if you want to be able to go with me to the other side. Now, we see the same situation today. The first man that went to Jesus said, I will follow you. But Jesus started telling him, I don't even have a place to lay my head. It will not always be easy. It will not always be comfortable. The gospel is not just about being well dressed, having money, eating good food, going to different places. Sometimes you will feel that you have to suffer for the cause of Jesus Christ. I'm not saying that it's bad to dress well. It can be a blessing of God. I'm not saying it's bad to have good food, good house, maybe even a good car. I'm not saying it's bad, because God can give it and it can be a blessing. But what I am saying is that according to the Word, there will be moments where it's not going to be all comfortable. So when someone has the idea that the gospel is about getting money, that the gospel is about wearing expensive clothes, eating expensive food, driving an expensive car, living in an expensive house, and that it will be about your comfort, then the person gets to know that they are wrong. Jesus told this man, it will not always be easy. You will have to learn to suffer alongside with me in some moments of your life if you really want to follow me and cross to the other side, and not just stay there with a whole lot of people saying that they are serving God when they're really not willing to do everything for God and really cross with Him and walk with Him to the other side. Then we see the example of this other man, where he's saying, first, I have to do something else. There's another thing that takes the first place in my life. He was saying that's what he was saying. First, I have to do something else. So nowadays, many people are being called by God, and God is telling them, come with me, follow me, go to the other side with me, live your life with me. I have something for you. I have something great and wonderful that I want to do with you. But they are saying, first, my job. First, something else. First, I must do this. First, I have to resolve some problems. First, I need to be busy with my job, so I don't have time to follow Jesus, they say. Because there's always something else first before following Jesus. Now, then it says, in verse 23, then he got into the boat, and his disciples followed him. His real disciples, because some of them had been disciples up to there, but some of them stopped being disciples when he told them that he didn't have where to lay his head. When he told him, follow me before you do anything else. Put me in the first place before anything else in your life. And many were not really willing to do that. So they stopped being disciples. But the real disciples, the ones that did cross to the other side, it says, then he got into the boat, and his disciples followed him. Suddenly, a furious storm came up on the lake, so that the waves swept over the boat, but Jesus was sleeping. The disciples went and woke him, saying, Lord, save us! We are going to drown. He replied, you of little faith, why are you so afraid? Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the waves, and it was completely calm. The men were amazed and asked, what kind of man is this? Even the winds and the waves obey him. Here's another thing that we must think about. In the middle of that storm, it says here that the waves swept over the boat. Over the boat. We're talking about big, big waves. It was so hard, the situation in that moment, that they were feeling fearful for their lives. They thought that they might even lose their lives because they had taken a decision on getting on that boat with Jesus and cross to the other side. A big storm, winds, waves so big that they went over the boat. Now, Jesus was not worried about it because he knew what time he was in. He knew the time that he was in, and he knew that it was not time for them to die. It was not yet the time where Jesus would die. So he knew that everything was under the control of the Father. So he was calm. But the disciples were very, very worried. They were fearful in the middle of a storm, and they were feeling that even their lives could get lost. They could lose their lives and drown. Jesus replied, you of little faith, why are you so afraid? Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the waves, and it was completely calm. Now, all of those people that did not cross to the other side, that were not willing to cross to the other side, that crowd over there. Some of them might have said, after they heard about what had happened, maybe some of them said, oh, it was a good thing that we didn't go with him, because we would have been in the middle of all of those winds in that storm, because they were not willing to go through anything difficult because of Jesus. But the thing is that when Jesus stands up, it says, then he got up and rebuked the winds and the waves, and it was completely calm. All of that crowd did not experience that wonderful, marvelous, and great moment when Jesus did one of the greatest things, demonstrating that he has power over the winds, over any storm, that he has power over any danger. That crowd that did not follow him did not see that. They did not see that. They probably heard about it. They probably heard about Jesus doing so many great things, about Jesus doing wonderful things that no one had seen before. They heard about it, but they did not see it because they had not followed him to the other side. But these men, even though they had fears in their hearts, even though they felt not secure in some moments, they were believing in him. They wanted to be with him. They wanted to go cross over to the other side and go in at each step of the way, walking alongside with Jesus. They did see it. Their eyes saw the greatness of Jesus Christ. Their eyes saw the power of Jesus Christ over the winds, over the storm. And at the end, in verse 27, it says, the men were amazed and asked, what kind of man is this? Even the winds and the waves obey him. They had seen with their own eyes something that many never experienced, that never saw, but they had seen it. So the conclusion is, it's not about just saying I believe in Jesus, I'm following Jesus. It's not about saying I believe in God and I'm a servant of God, like that big crowd that really never followed him to the other side. It's about knowing that even though we might go into difficult times, but we will not stop following Jesus. It's about knowing that he is number one and he will always be first in our lives no matter what happens. And that type of people that follow him no matter what are the ones that cross to the other side, are the ones that go to another level, are the ones that obey the word of God no matter what, are the ones that do everything that God says that they must do, and they go into the other side, they go into another level, following Jesus, walking with Jesus, and seeing with their own eyes the greatness that God will be doing. And they will see it. And they will be amazed, like these men were amazed with the marvels and the power of Jesus Christ. And they will not just say, I heard about it. They will say, I saw it. I've seen the marvels, the miracles, and the power of Jesus Christ. He has power over the winds. He has power over the ocean, over the waters, over the waves, over the creation. He has power over everything, every storm, every difficulty. What we have to do is prepare our hearts. Go with Him. Follow Him. And we will see the great things that He will keep on doing. Many others will not see it. Many others will only hear about it. But the ones that decide to go to the other side, to go to the other level with Jesus Christ, will experience the greatest things of their lives, things that they had never seen before, by the power of God.